why not have the confidence? You know, what do you risk? I didn't have a lot of confidence when I was younger, and then I jumped into this role and I obsessed about things. I would jump on the phone with somebody and obsess about who this person is, what they're gonna ask me, what my answer is gonna be. And then there came a point where that suddenly shifted, and I wasn't obsessing because I was just really comfortable, and that comfort was confidence. You know, similarly, I was saying earlier, there was a point where I wasn't speaking. I was just sitting at a desk working all the time. And then suddenly I was speaking, and I was really nervous about it because I was gonna mess up and somebody was gonna see me and it would be embarrassing.
And what made you show up despite that?
And I showed up because at the end of the day, I was doing this for a larger goal. I was trying to build a company, and I was trying to do it really aggressively, and there was a greater good here. And at the end of the day, I'm very passionate about my work and the company that I've helped build. And I want everybody to know what it's like to work at Mashable. You know, the kind of culture we've created and the unique environment that we're building. And they're not gonna know that by me sitting at my desk. So for me, it was really important to get out there and do those things. And little by little, I stopped obsessing so much and I stopped being as nervous because I had suddenly become a lot more comfortable. So I think at the end of the day, you know, for me, it's not necessarily about faking it, but you do have to sort of get yourself out there. You have to sort of talk yourself into it. And then at a certain point, you've done this enough. You know your stuff. You knew your stuff from the beginning in most cases. But you have to do it enough to really get to that point where you're good to go.
When I first came to New York, I was in a role that wasn't serving clients, and I was in an in-house technical role. And one of the things that we had is we had these global calls where everybody would dial in, and all of a sudden I was left to speak on a particular technical topic. And I thought, okay, and I would prepare in advance of this, and I would dry run for these calls. And I don't know when it changed, but at a certain point, all of a sudden I'd be like, oh yeah, the call's in 15 minutes, and I would just get on them, and I knew the topic. And I think part of it was believing in myself and not having to script it out, because in the beginning, I had a script of exactly what I was gonna say on these technical calls, and it's just, you know, now I laugh at that and think, I can't believe I wrote where the pause was, and I wrote where, you know, because I wanted to be prepared, and I wanted to allow there to be, you know, it to sound natural. And I look at it now and I think somehow once you know the stuff and you've been doing it long enough, it just comes together. So if in the beginning you have to over-prepare and that's what it takes, then do it. And nobody knows behind the scenes what you've done before you walked in to prepare for that meeting or for that call.
Always wear things that make you feel good about yourself. I mean, you know, sometimes we sabotage ourselves. We're like, oh, I don't feel like dressing up today, or I don't really want to do my hair, you know, for that meeting, or whatever. And I hate to be girly on you, but it really does actually make you feel better. And at the very least, it makes you feel less insecure about whether or not your hair looks good. So it doesn't matter that you look better. It's all about what you're feeling is what you're projecting. So the other thing I do is I always wear something that, you know, is kind of flashy and fun, but that has nothing to do with confidence. It makes me feel good, and people want to talk to you when you have flashy, fun stuff at a party. So wear feather boas.